There are public figures today, yesterday, and the day before predicting and all but calling for mass violence and rioting in the streets.
Obviously, Republicans, I think, are the biggest threat to democracy. We don't separate right-wing extremists and Republican Party anymore. Republicans, I think, are the biggest threat to democracy. We don't separate right-wing extremists and Republican Party anymore. Republicans are the biggest threat to democracy.
This means war. That is where we are. We are at war with these people.
We are at war with those people, folks. Welcome to the Prepared Mind channel. It is Sunday night live. It is the zoo. And you might detect my voice is not great. I had to end up canceling Friday's show altogether. I lost my voice 99%. And I'm only going to go tonight, well, as long as it feels comfortable. And as long as you guys are throwing the super chats at me. Whew, we got a couple to start out with, folks. We're going to get into it. It is Sunday Night Live. But the reason I chose that starting is we are at war. The Republicans, or let me just say this, conservative, constitutional Republicans who love this country and are not part of a sham are at war with every other part of this country. Namely, the anti-American Republicans in Congress, in the Senate, in the White House, who are Zionists and taking their money from Israel. Next, the Democrats. They are at war with us and our Constitution. They hate us. They lie about us. They lie about everything. They're friends with communists. They're friends with anybody that will help take over this country and ruin it. That's why they want illegals here. They want terrorists here. They want drug cartels here. They want rapists, murderers, drug dealers, child traffickers, adult traffickers. They are all at war with you and me. And the sooner you get that in your head, and folks, for a while, it was hard for me to believe that our country was that divided, that there's that many people in this country that hate us in this country. And it's gotten so bad. It's made it to the mainstream media, which is where those people came from in that opening clip. It made it to the White House under Joe Biden, a Democrat. And it's in the White House now with President Trump. The Zionist Israeli control of this country is absolute. It is going to be hell on earth unless we make a change. It is not changing. Not anytime soon. We aren't at the bottom. We are getting at peak what the hell. We're at peak, oh shit. We're at peak, we better do something. That's where we're at. But it's going to get a lot worse. And even when you, me, all of us are fully awake and we've woken up our families, our friends, our coworkers, when we've woken everyone up, it's still going to get worse because the fight is coming. Now, and it's bigger than just fighting in the streets. It is a philosophical fight. It is a political fight. It is a religious, holy war fight. It is a cultural, traditional, everything fight. It's going to encompass everything because that is what has happened. Our whole world has been turned upside down in order to destroy it. And I'm going to tell you this right now, and this is the absolute truth in my mind, in my opinion, is the Zionists proclaim it, and they say without any reservation. They say it in writing. They say it amongst themselves. They say it in their modern writings. They say it on television that they are going to destroy this country, the United States of America and Europe. That is their goal. It is a punishment. They want to kill all the white people and white culture and white tradition and white laws. And they don't care if you're black, Hispanic, any other shade of brown, yellow, red, green, it doesn't matter. If you love this, you are considered as good as white to them, and they will come after you as well. There is no hiding from what is coming, folks. Now, this is Sunday Night Live. This is the zoo. Right up there, super chat button, or in the comments, you can write your question. But in the video description, we have PayPal, Venmo, chat, PayPal, Venmo, and oh my goodness, I can't talk. CashApp. There we go. I forgot it to come out. And the prepared mother, Jolene, is sitting in tonight. Thank you, Jolene, for showing up. She is the moderator in chief, and she has full authority to do anything she wants. So play nice and don't be afraid to speak your mind. Now, right out the gate, I've got Darcy T with a $50 PayPal super chat donation. And this is what she writes. I have said it before and I will say it again. This war was deliberately started to bring in the Great Reset and New World Order. She says, I do not think anyone really believes that it was because Iran was this close to getting a nuclear weapon. We've been hearing that for decades now, and we've discussed that here. Darcy says it was just more of their subterfuge to cause supply chain disruptions and shortages, moving us ever closer to a total global control surveillance state. Number one, thank you for the super chat. Darcy T, you're keeping the lights on. Under normal circumstances, I would be having a scotch right here in this shot glass. But not tonight. I've been trying to do everything I can to clear this up. After the show, I'll probably have a hot toddy, but I don't want to fry everything with a shot. Anyways, back to Darcy's comments. We've been hearing since the early 1980s that Iran is weeks or months away from having a nuclear weapon. And they never have. Iran has never threatened the United States of America. Iran has said death to America, and they've explained that that means Washington, D.C. Not the United States of America, which is the 50 states, but Washington, D.C., which is the United States government or the U.S. government. Every single attack on our servicemen, whether it's Al-Qaeda, Hezbollah, ISIS, ICE, Hamas, is either funded and created by Mossad and or the CIA. They fund, train, and supply weapons. The United States of America, no. The United States government, yes. The U.S. government put the leader of ISIS in Syria in charge of that country. There are videos of him chopping the heads off of children and holding the children's heads up. He is a murderer. He is a war criminal. He is a terrorist. But he was invited to the White House to meet Trump. What does that say about Trump? He was invited to 10 Downing Street. That is the Prime Minister's residence in England. A fucking terrorist. A murderous bastard who kills children. You know who the world is. This is exactly what's going on. Trump, again, just, I believe, 2 days ago, said that we're going to get a huge reset, a great reset. Big changes are coming, folks. None of us can escape it. It doesn't mean you have to be a victim of it, but we're all going to be affected by it. The best thing you and I can do is be prepared for any emergency. Number one, be prepared for emergency. That's what being a prepper is all about. The prepared mind. Chance favors it. Food, water, shelter, clothing, medicine, means of self-defense. Means of self-defense. And your plan Get that together, because everything else falls in line after that. Everything else. Okay. Let's do this. Thank you, Darcy T. We're going to be keeping a close eye on this. I agree with you 100%. They're pushing us. And look what's happening. Okay. So Spain says, look, we've had it with Israel. We're boycotting Israel. What does that have to do with the price of tea in China or Washington, D.C. politics? It shouldn't have a fucking thing to do with it. Yet Trump gets mad. Why? Who gives a fuck about Israel? They're getting billions of dollars from us through our tax money. Instead, Trump runs to their defense because he is Bibi Netanyahu and Chabad Lubavitch. He's their bitch. Period. He is now saying, that's it. We're cutting off all relations with Spain. No more trade with Spain. You know what Spain does? Who gives a shit? Who gives a shit? I don't give a shit. Spain goes to China and meets with Xi Jinping. Now, Spain is a socialist type nation and China is a fascist socialist nation. Okay, it is owned and run by the Chinese Communist Party, the CCP. But they'll do business with Spain. They'll take care of Spain. They'll supply Spain. Do you think China has more manufacturing and the ability to supply Spain than the United States of America? The answer is yes. In other words, Trump is not hurting Spain a bit. China would love to export its cars, especially its EVs, its electric vehicles, all over Europe. Trump is cutting alliances. He is ruining trade deals. He is ruining political, military, and economic friendships all around the world because he is Israel's bitch. He is threatening to put my brothers and sisters in arms. The Army, the Navy, the Air Force, and the Marines. He's threatening to put them in harm's way to go fight Iran. Unfucking conscionable, unbelievable, unacceptable, yet there he is. There he is. Unbelievable. Okay, Jolene, let's do some super chats out of the crowd. Let's have some fun with it. And by the way, I have not stopped drinking my coffee, my cafefe.com coffee. They're a great sponsor of the show. And there it is. That right there will get you a discount with cafefe.com. Great coffee, folks. I drink it every chance I get, which is the morning. So thank you, Jolene, very much for putting that up there. I appreciate it. Great coffee. And I did say get food, water, shelter, clothing, medicine, means of self-defense, and a plan, communications, power, solar power backup. Do that as well. But if you've got money left over, here's the question. If Trump is going to push us into the new global world order, if he's going to put us in the new financial world order, if they're going to force us to choke down their central bank digital currency, how do you expect to preserve your wealth in a bank? If they can punish you, they can freeze your bank account. If the bank fails, they can confiscate what used to be a deposit, and it's now considered, get this, your bank deposit is now considered an unsecured loan. In other words, it's not a collateralized loan to the bank. You get nothing if the bank fails, if the bank goes under. Just at the end of last week, and unfortunately I wasn't able to speak about it because I was not on the show Friday night. Problems with speaking. If you remember these things called credit default swaps, go into the Wayback Memory banks, credit default swaps. That's what failed in 2008. Well, right now, the big banks are having the same problem come up. The same problem. They want to put bad debt, toxic debt, and they want to bundle it with other debt and then sell you that security, right? It's got shit for collateral in it, and you're supposed to invest in it. We're going to have some problems, folks. It's getting very, very nasty. Right now, the world is getting rid of their dollars. China has the least ever well, in the last 30 years. Treasury bills, T-bonds. In other words, they're liquid assets. They're as good as the dollar. They serve as dollar in trade. They're de-dollarizing. Spain's like, fuck it, we're done. We're done. The Gulf states over there where they're not the American Gulf, but the Middle East, the Persian Gulf, the oil producing states, they're saying, you know what, we're done. I don't know how bad this is going to get. They may absolutely dump the dollar. We know that anyone that has to go through the Strait of Hormuz has to pay a fee in Chinese yuan to Iran. So, we'll get into what else is going on there. You're gonna fucking shit yourself when you hear this. All right. Thank you very much. I think Jolene's reading my mind. If you've got money left over after buying food, water, shelter, clothing, medicine, means of self-defense, your plan, right? And you don't want to leave your money in the banks, you may want to invest in silver, gold, some form of hard asset. When I had lots of money to spend, this is what I bought. Silver, gold. It's real. I own it. I hold it. I own it. A bank cannot confiscate that. The government, well, they could try and take it, but it's going to cost them a lot more than that's worth. And I'll tell you what, gold and silver have always kept their value. And you can buy paper stocks. But this right here, my friends, this has real value. And it doesn't matter if the government or a bank or a gold mine goes out of business, right? There is no counterparty risk. It's not like, let's just say, a mining company. The CEO and the financial officer lied and their company takes a shit, right? You lose all the value of your stock. If you own the silver and own the gold, it doesn't matter what any particular company does. Right? It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter what the government does. You own it. Okay. Thank you very much, Jolene. Let's do some super chats out there if we got it. There's a button right up there. That's how you support the show and you get on the screen, just like, I think that was Dan the Man Erickson. One moment. Then he's got a $5 super chat. Thank you, Big Dan. And he says, bee honey in a sealed jar, stored correctly, can last indefinitely. Almost. It is high in amino acids and other nutrients. Might be a good prep product. I believe that honey is a superior product. I have had honey improperly stored. And sometimes, and it's still edible. Mold, fungus does not grow on real honey. If you're going to buy honey, make sure it's 100% honey, not some fake honey or honey with soybean or other oil in it. Okay. Make sure it's honey. And I recommend, a local bee farmer if you can get it from a local farmer. If you can get it from a company that says their honey is 100% natural and organic, that's good. And for medicinal purposes, it is superior. Years ago, before I left for the RMZ, I bought a jar of Manuka honey. And Manuka honey is a very special honey. It comes from the Society Islands down by Tahiti. And it has very special medicinal quality to it. Now, all honey seems to me to have medicinal quality in it. So what I want you to do is get honey. Honey is good. It's for my throat. I took a huge spoonful of Manuka honey Friday when my voice was 100% gone, and I think it's helped it somewhat. In any event, we got some really good stuff. I need to focus. Let Jolene handle the comments. Get honey. It's a sugar substitute, only it's not processed, refined, chemical sugar. Okay, sugar now these days it's getting worse and worse. Honey is a great sugar substitute. It does last forever, and it has medicinal value. Thank you very much, Big Dan the man. Jolene, I received a super chat through Venmo from Chin Music for $52.43. So let's keep an eye out for Chin Music to put some comments down there. We'll get him up on the board as well. Thank you very much, Chin Music, for the great donation. And while we're waiting for that, let's do some more super chats out of the messages. And there's KS Cleanup made an interesting comment I'd like to address. But where do you want to go, Jolene? What do you think we ought to address next? We'll do this. KS Cleanup. He says, John, you are off base here with Trump. Okay. He says the bigger picture. Not the small picture of World War III, but the bigger picture is, he says, the bigger picture here is the corruption that our government has been involved with with Iran for decades, and it's getting ended. I understand exactly what you're talking about. When Barack Hussein, Barry Soetoro, the tranny-loving fruitcake president, was in charge, what did he do? He sent $2 billion in cash on pallets into Iran. Do you understand what that was for? Now, I don't know if this is true, but it was my understanding that that was sent to Iran as a sort of payoff, a kind of bribe in order for them not to produce a nuclear weapon. Now, it's my understanding that just last week that the Trump administration is sending $6 billion to Iran. So when you said there's corruption and our government's involved in it and it's getting ended, I'd like to know why they're getting another $6 billion fucking dollars. Now, I will agree with you. There is corruption in our government. It has everything to do with Iran, has everything to do with Israel, has everything to do with Ukraine, has everything to do with the European Union, has everything to do with the World Economic Forum, has everything to do with fucking our country up and sending our men and women in the armed services off to die in bullshit wars. Understand me? That's fucking corruption. And bringing in, what, 20, 25 million more illegals on top of the ones that were already here? You bet your ass we got fucking problems in our government and it's corruption and needs to be fucking ended. Now, what has Trump done? Is the border secure? We've been told, yes, the border's secure. Good. One good mark there. Now, let's get these fuckers out of here. Joe Biden, even though he's letting in illegals, was throwing out more people, more illegals than Trump has been able to get out. Yes, I know our government is so fucking corrupt that the judges are allowing him to stay in. Bullshit, little chicken shit, nobody federal judges. I've been overruling the president of the United States with respect to getting these fucking criminals out. You can tell I'm a little passionate about this, huh? But I try to keep my passions within due bounds toward all mankind. Unless they want to fucking kill me, rape my sister, my mother, my nieces, doesn't matter. I'm done with these fucking people. Now, Trump allegedly this weekend, and KS Cleanup, I appreciate the topic very much, man. Even though Jolene let you on here without a super chat, great topic. Apparently, Trump has thrown out some federal judges, kicked them off the bench. Someone better fucking do it. Someone needs to do it. But what did Trump do? Several months ago, he said, nah, there's a lot of good hard workers. We need them in hotels and on farms. That is not getting these fucking illegals out. He fucking turned on the base. He shit on us. And he said, we're going to create a path to citizenship. We're going to give them amnesty. Well, we've given them every fucking thing else. Why don't we just give them our children and our fucking wives and our property? Oh, we're giving them our jobs, aren't we? Right? And I'm not ranting at you, KS Cleanup. Not ranting at you, man. Okay? I'm ranting at the fucking system. the fucking machine that takes you, and I'm guessing KS Cleanup is your business. It's taking your fucking money and it is pissing it away when it should be rebuilding this country, our infrastructure, gas, oil, energy, roads, bridges, highways, tunnels, right? Everything in our country, docks, ports, airports, every fucking thing. Instead, we're giving it to fucking Habib, and we're giving it to H-1B visa fucking holders who shouldn't be here. We are at war. Our government is so corrupt, man. It is absolutely corrupt beyond fucking imagination. The more you learn, the more you know. The more you know, the more you know where to look. The more you look around, the more you realize how fucked up we are. Now, Trump, clean up Iran, great. How about you fucking cut the umbilical cord to Israel? The fucking entire world knows it's genocide. Israel says, we don't care. We don't care what the U.S. says. We're going to bomb the fuck out of Christians in Lebanon. This is a political war. It's an economic war. It's a holy war. And it's being waged against us by Zionists who will use us and screw us over, fuck up our military, kill our men and women, and do everything they can. And then they will leave us behind a fucking dried, sucked up husk of a country. And that's exactly what Bibi Netanyahu said they do. They are parasites living off us, and they'll leave us a destroyed welfare state, and they will move on to their next host. They have been very open, the Israelis, Benjamin Netanyahu especially, that they don't care about our country. They don't give a fuck. We're getting screwed over. And now President Trump is saying, well, we're going to control the Strait of Hormuz. We're going to charge people to use it. Really? So now our military, our Navy, is going to sit over there at the mouth of the Persian Gulf, right outside the Strait of Hormuz, and any ship coming through is going to have to pay a fee to the United States Navy? Are you fucking kidding me? Oh yeah, John, it's right here. It's right here in the U.S. fucking Constitution. Let me turn it. It's it's page 55. Says right here, any president can order the Navy anywhere in the world and hold them hostage economically and charge a fee to use any waterway because, well, we've got nuclear weapons. That's right. They wrote about that, right? No, this is fucking ridiculous. It's out of hand. He's losing his fucking mind. I'm not off base with Trump. He's doing some little good things, yes. But what is this? He's promising a great reset. There's no longer going to be a petrodollar, folks. That system was dying anyway. I understand that. I know it. We need to get away from being the global reserve currency because it is crushing the United States with debt because we don't produce anything. The rest of the world has been able to take advantage of us. And they like to say that we take advantage of them by printing and printing and printing that doesn't cost us anything. Well, it's putting us in debt. $40 trillion. And that's not counting the unfunded liabilities of pensions for government workers, teachers, police, military, Social Security, and other unfunded liabilities. Anyways, I really do appreciate the topic. Very good topic. And there are bigger pictures. Bigger pictures. Thank you very much, man. I appreciate that. Jolene, where do we want to go next? We got Viking checking in with a $20 Canadian super chat. Thank you very much, Viking. Good to see you here. And he says, hey, they're talking about passing a bill to give amnesty to the illegals. If this takes place, it would mean the final nail in the coffin for the West. And Trump no longer gets my support nor anyone else. Okay, well, Viking, that's a great follow-up to the last one from KS Cleanup. Yes, they want to give amnesty, which means a fucking pass. How about this? How about I never fucking pay taxes again? And I get a pass. No, John, that's criminal. That's tax evasion, man. Well, I know what the IRS says. I know what the code says. I know what their rules say. I know what their regulations say. I'm not required to pay. I don't make income, which is profit. I get wages. I've read the fucking Supreme Court decisions. The 16th Amendment was never properly ratified. The IRS rules state themselves we're not supposed to pay. Yet we do. And if you don't, they'll threaten you. They'll fucking destroy your life. Fuck them. Okay. I don't get amnesty for that. But the government is going to give every one of these illegals a free ride. They've been giving them a free ride. They paid for their fucking entry into the country, moved them around, gave them credit cards, jobs, clothes, housing, transportation. Fuck us, right? That means you too. And Viking, I know you're up in Canada. It's cool, man. But yeah, they're screwing you up there too. Probably worse than we're getting it down here. But yes, the final nail in the coffin for the West. And Trump no longer gets my support nor anyone else, says you. We are moving in this country away from a Republican Party that is polluted with filthy neocons, Zionists, and anti-American hypocrites and liars. The term America first, and some people are saying America only, right? We are in dire, dire trouble here. And no one will feel it to the extent that we're going to feel it when the crash comes. One moment. You're feeling it a little bit right now. If you own a business, you might be seeing some slowdowns. Right? We're not getting what Trump promised. Tax cuts, tariff checks. You know, we're supposed to get what? Oh, maybe even no income tax. It's not going to happen. But you wrote something here that is very important. Very important. And you used the phrase, the West. The final nail in the coffin for the West is called white replacement theory, or population replacement theory, or, right, just population replacement. What makes the West the West? And the West is Australia. The West is America. The West is Canada. The West is England, the United Kingdom, and the West is Europe. It is European culture and law. Not perfect, never has been perfect. But go look at the buildings in Europe, the beautiful cathedrals, the palaces, the parliaments, the libraries, the ancient castles, everything came from a people that worked hard. And guess what? Those fucking people were white. They escaped Europe because it was getting stupid. And we populated Canada, North America, populated Australia, New Zealand. And we rebuilt and we built great countries. And we use the same principles, right? A Christian work ethic and a rule, right? Even the United States doesn't recognize Christianity as the national religion. What it does recognize is the golden rule: do unto others as you would have them do unto you. And it's written into our law. We can see it. All men are created equal. That is the golden rule. We're all to be treated the same, treated to the same benefits, the same punishments, have the same opportunities. In every nation, every state, every county, right? Every fiefdom in the West, all through Europe, from the beginning of time, controls its own borders, maintains its borders, protects its people. Whether you have a king or a committee or a government, or you're ruled over by a duke, an earl, a baron, or a count, it doesn't fucking matter. They protected their country, their countrymen, with borders. They did not allow in people who did not belong to their culture, did not share those common belief systems, and you don't let them in. Because when you let them in, what happens? They kill, they murder, they rape, and they destroy. Now, 1,000 years ago, in Spain, Portugal, and southern France, the Muslims invaded. And they were finally stomped by Charlemagne, and then the Spanish drove them out. These people were murderous fucking hordes. They tried coming the other way through Turkey. They made it almost to Vienna, or to Vienna, another 300-400 years later, when they got stopped and sent back to the fucking Middle East. What did they bring? Death, destruction, murder, and chaos. They're the same fucking people. So why are they now all over Europe, as far north as the fucking Arctic Circle in Scandinavia, all the way up in fucking Canada? Canada, the United States of America, Australia, letting in these fucking worthless people, these low IQ, inbred, uneducated, unskilled, fucking worthless people who don't share our belief systems. It's because the people that control our governments in Australia, Canada, America, United Kingdom, and Europe, all the European nations, they have been bought and paid for by the bankers, the corporations, and the Zionists. They're all the same. They're the same people pushing for the same thing. And boy, if you join their team, if you've got power, guess what? They'll reward you. That's what it is. The final nail in the coffin for the West is the destruction of people who look and sound and act like you and me. Look at an American. I don't care what color they are. Look at them. If they're a good American, they look like Americans to me. Show me some fucking piece of ghetto trash or some fucking hillbilly drug cooking swine. It doesn't fucking matter to me. They don't look American. They look like worthless criminals. But you can see a hardworking man. You can see a hardworking woman. You know who they are. That's what they want. Trump is doing the same thing. If he wants to offer amnesty to these illegals so they can stay here and fucking rob, rape, murder, and destroy, fuck that. Go look at the cities of the world. Go look at the big cities in America, in Europe, and England. They're trying to destroy it with drugs and fucking corruption and filth and litter. There's enough. I'll leave it with that. Viking, thank you for the great support. Let us continue if we shall. Jolene, what are we going to discuss next? We got Biaxo checking in with a $1.99 super chat. He says, honey is my favorite animal vomit. I'm going to have to agree with you. I think it is damn fine bee vomit. Amazing stuff. Honey is an amazing product. It works as a sweetener. You can use it to ferment and make fine alcoholic beverages. Up in Scandinavia, their beverage of choice, fermented, was mead, MEAD, made with honey. Okay, let us continue. Thank you so much. Thank you very much, Chin Music. Okay, I'm checking the signal. And what I have is his comment there. There we go. This is coming from Chin Music, $52.43 super chat donation. If you can't do super chat up here, we've got down in the video description, PayPal, Venmo, CashApp. Now, this is what Chin says. Anyone thinking the Democrats suddenly gave birth to a conscience with the Swallows Well issue doesn't understand California's jungle primary. Republicans are running 1-2. And with little Eric in third, they risk not having a communist on the general ballot. And they can't take out the woman, Katie Porker. That would be hard to sell to the feminists. Get the hell off my fucking ballot, Katie Porter. If you know, you know. So Chin is he's in Texas, but he's been staying current with California politics, which have always been a fucking strange beast. Now, when Ronald Wilson Reagan, President Reagan, before that, he was California governor. Guess what he did? He made the calamitous error of giving amnesty to illegals who were in California, who did it wrong. And guess what? Ever since then, California has turned into a total Democrat shithole. Because, well, let's just say you've got $500 and a Democrat takes your $500 from you in taxes and he gives it $100 to 5 illegal Mexicans. Guess what those Mexicans are going to do? They're going to vote not for a Republican. They're going to vote for Democrats. So they lose one Republican who will never vote Democrat again if he ever did. And they gain 5 voters. That's what they want to do with these motherfucking illegals across the whole country. But back to California. Eric Swallowswell is my nickname for him. He is a total piece of shit fucking douche. He really is. While he was married, he was fucking a Chinese spy named Fang Fang. What a dickhead. Now he's been caught on video. Oh no, he's been caught on video fucking a hooker? How terrible is that, right? Unbelievably, who gives a shit is what I say. But they want to get him off the ballot. They want to get him out of the way, right? That's what they want to do. It's unbelievable, right? Let me see if I can find my thing here. That's a funny story. Shit, where are we going? Let's see. There is so much stupid shit. It's a matter of... Here we are. Here we are. Nope, not that. Fuck it. So Eric Swallowswell is caught on video. We're supposed to worry about that, right? That's a bad thing. These fucking hookers. Isn't that what they do in Washington, D.C. all the time to control politicians? They put them in with hookers. They give them drugs. Or they just invite them into Epstein's little party. Oh, yeah, Epstein's little party. Just crazy. Well, let me ask you this question. What about Ilhan Omar? She's from Somalia. She says she's in our government representing Somalis. She came here and brought her brother here. She married her brother. She has committed untold amounts of fraud in Minnesota, which itself is now showing to be full of Somali fraud in the billions. Yeah, but they don't want to throw her out. How about Ilhan? No, that was Ilhan Omar. How about Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez? The fucking bitch has been caught numerous times using her campaign money illegally, misusing U.S. government funds to pay for cars, trips, vacations, fucking treatments, everything. Unbelievable. Literally unbelievable. But here we are. Here we are. Let's see if this is it. Oh, this is interesting. I've been sitting here doing the show. I sent myself this information an hour and a half ago. An hour and a half. It just now showed up. It showed up after Chin Music's super chat. And now, by the way, Jolene, Chelsea Polzing, right? Chelsea and husband sent me a $55.60 super chat donation through Venmo. Thank you, Chelsea. We'll get your comments and questions also. Let's go back to Swallowswell. Congress. There is growing support to remove this fucking clown. Expulsion is expected to happen this week. Florida Republican Anna Paulina Luna is putting in articles to expel him. I can't believe that, right? What about all those congressmen who are insider trading? How about that? How about everyone who's taken money from foreigners illegally, campaign contributions coming out of Ukraine. They don't want to even talk about that, much less do anything about it. But they need to get rid of Eric Swallowswell. 3/4 of the nation, I would say 95% of the nation, doesn't know who he is or give a fuck. Most of the nation doesn't know shit about what's going on in Washington. But they don't want to risk losing California Democrats. California could do some crazy shit, folks. It is a wild, crazy state. I was born there, raised there, lived there my whole life, minus my Marine Corps time, until I fucking left. Beautiful state run by absolute abject morons, communists, pedophiles. Oh, yeah. The government is full of pedophiles in California. They're pushing more pedophilia. California is an evil fucking state. So, yeah, they need to get Eric off the ballot so they can make sure the Republican doesn't win. Anyways, Mr. Chin Music, thank you for the great support that you show every single week. Just like Darcy T, Chelsea, Robin, Bonnie Blue, Cottage Farm, Viking. There's so many of you good ones. You guys are just great in keeping this channel going so that I don't have to get 3 fucking jobs. 2 is enough, but 3 would kill me. It would be great if I could get down to 1 job. Just 1 job and make ends meet. Anyways, enough bitching about that. If it weren't for you guys, I wouldn't be able to do this, period. I just wouldn't have the time. Okay, let's do this. Jolene, who's next? We got some more super chats out there. I know, I'm sure of it. I can detect it. And there it is. Ripple Effect shows up with a $5 super chat. And he writes, Trump is fulfilling Agenda 2030. I agree 100%. Yep. The population replacement theory, white replacement theory, is going full steam ahead. They're continuing to poison the air, poison the water, poison our food, poison us with medicine. Oh, yeah. Poison us with doctors. They're continuing to do every fucking thing they can to destroy the United States of America, the freest country in the world that the world had ever seen. And it is slowly going down to shit. So Trump is fulfilling Agenda 2030 and the Greater Israel Project. He told everyone in his poem that he was a snake and that he would bite. Interesting that you would bring that up. These people in government tell us who they are. The people in the banking industry tell us who they are. The people in the financial institutions and investment institutions in New York, Chicago, San Francisco, LA, London, Paris, Shanghai, Switzerland, they tell us who they are and what they believe. The people in government, the people in money, the people in the schools tell us who the fuck they are. They want to transgender your kids. The people in the military tell us who they are. The only thing is we don't believe them. Or it just doesn't matter. They're doing it. They're trying to destroy us. There's one thing that you and I have in America. Canada still has a little bit of it also. Canada is a very interesting, unique animal. Same with Australia. You better take control of your fucking countries. England, United Kingdom. In fact, in Ireland, they're now fighting back. No guns yet. But the old Irish terrorists are still there. And they had sons. And those sons have woken up. And they're going to be sons of bitches if they start using their guns in Ireland. They still have guns, folks. America has the most guns. And if you want to scare people into leaving this fucking country, or if you need to eliminate people and take them out of this world, America's Second Amendment has not been destroyed. It has not been removed. In fact, it is less and less encumbered by government bullshit all the time. The government doesn't want to give it up, though. The alcohol, tobacco, and firearms bureaucracy, which has their own guns and their own badges and their own belief that they can write regulations, not laws. This is the law. This is the law. Regulations are not laws. Rules are not laws. Ordinances are not laws. This is the law. We can end this shit real quick. It can end very, very quickly. And end this 2030, this 2026, whatever the fucking numbers they put to it. It can be ended real quick. But it would put America into a tailspin that we will not be able to recover from quickly. People will starve. People will be killed. Good people as well as the bad people. People will die of thirst, disease, hunger, vigilantism. There'll be civil war. There'll be social chaos. There will be partisan conflict. But it would end their bullshit really fast. The rich people would run to their bunkers and hide underground for 2 years or 3 years, as long as they can, and try to come out and take over their leadership positions again. And trust me, folks, the rich have lots of this all for themselves, and they will use it to keep themselves wealthy no matter what happens. And let me, before I continue with your Greater Israel Project comments, Ripple, understand the secret that the rich know, that they've used, that they've always used. They lie. They won't tell you that they hate you and that they hate your country. They won't tell you that their religion hates your Christianity, but they're rich, and so they'll lie. They will fund both sides in a conflict so that no matter who wins, they retain their power, their influence, their wealth, and their property. They've done it for fucking centuries. They've done it for millennia. These same rich motherfuckers will pull out their gold and silver, and they'll give a significant quantity of it to the next government. You know why? Because they know that if they do that, they'll guarantee their safety and their lives. And in time, they'll make that money back by controlling that government and getting laws passed in their favor so that they can get wealthy off the backs of everyone else. Do you know that like 90+% of the slavers were, well, Jewish? The banking system, Jewish. They're fucking Jews. And that's what they are. That's their religion. That's what they practice. That's what they're good at. Screwing people out of their fucking money. Time and time again. They've been kicked out of over 100 countries over 1,000 times in the last 1,000 years. Why is that? Because people don't like their noses? Hardly. We all look fucking weird and funny. We're all different. But it's their behavior. That's what people object to. And that's the Greater Israel Project that's coming. And I'll explain that here briefly. But first, yeah, they will always, even if they lose this fucking confrontation with all of America, trying to get to their 2030 project, they will still keep their money and wealth that they have in gold, in silver, in platinum. And they'll try and keep land in other countries where they'll bribe politicians. They bribe people, folks. That's how it fucking works. They bribe both sides, both political parties, both systems, whether it's a free market or a communist capitalist. It doesn't fucking matter. It doesn't matter. It can be communist, capitalist, socialist, fascist. It doesn't matter. They'll put money out to both sides to make sure they live. It's a really fucked up deal. Now, the Greater Israel Project, if you do not know what this is, I am now going to explain it to you. In 1948, after World War II, the European Jewish population, which is descended from the Khazars, people who are not ethnic Semitic people. They were from the area north of the Caspian Sea, on the other side of the Caucasus Mountains. They adopted Judaism as their religious practice, and they migrated up into Russia and up into Europe. And these people have practiced their version of Judaism, which believes heavily, not in the Old Testament, certainly not in the New Testament. They hate Christians, but in the Talmud. That's why I call them Talmudic Jews, not the Semitic real Jews down in Israel, not the Semitic real Jews that live in Iran. There are Semitic Jews that live in Iran at peace with Christians and Muslims and the Persians. Now, understand this. The European Jews that are descended from the Khazars have a couple of different names. Sephardic Jews, Ashkenazi Jews. They were given, passage to Palestine. The country was called Palestine. And it's where today's modern Israel is. They were given passage there. They were accepted as what? Yes, immigrants. Immigrants. Isn't that fucking fascinating? You can look all this shit up, and I recommend you look it all up, by the way. Don't take my word for it. Look it up. Look it up. They showed up in Palestine, and within 2 years, they had 3 separate Jewish terrorist organizations that ultimately came together and formed the IDF, Israeli Defense Force. They are a parasitic group of people that created their own country from within Palestine, and they've been growing the areas they control for decades. Why is it that they call their people settlers when they go out of the area they control and they kill the Palestinians? They kill the other Semites that live there. They steal their farms. They steal their land, but they call them settlers. So then now they have this thing called the Greater Israel Project, because God promised them land from the Nile all the way to what? The Euphrates, which is in Iraq. Greater Israel. It's not just this little state about the size of New Jersey. It is now a massive territory that would be about as big as half the United States of America, minus Alaska. That is their goal. They want land in Egypt all the way to the Nile, all the way through the Middle East, over into the oil territory and into Iraq. And of course, yes, I'm sure they would love to take Iran too. They have it on their patches now, on their military. It's Greater Israel. And the IDF, the Israeli Defense Force, which is the military, their motto is to defeat their enemy through deception. They're fucking rotten, horrible people who on film all over X, Instagram, TikTok, and YouTube, it doesn't fucking matter. They brag about shooting children, shooting women, starving them, killing them, assassinating them, and raping them, and they're happy about it. And the rest of the world that doesn't want to hear it, they don't fucking hear it. La, 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 la. They don't care. Fact of the matter is, they're happy to do it, and they praise it. And not just the IDF, the entire nation of Israel are full of these sick, psychopathic fucks who think that God promised it to them. And they're not even Semites. I'm willing to bet I have more Semitic blood in me than Netanyahu. Anyways, ripple effect. You got your $5 out of me, amigo. Trump is fulfilling the agenda. And if he said he's a snake and that he would bite, he's doing it. Let's move on if we shall. We're at the 1 hour mark. My voice is holding up. I'll go until we run out of super chats. And also remember, we're looking for Chelsea Weering and husband. Chelsea. Okay, let's continue. Jolene, who's up next? Here we are. Pardon me. Sorry about that. Chelsea and husband. She says, off topic. Well, you did a $55.60 super chat donation. Off topic, but husband and I are going South Florida to hunt iguana. Any recommendations on other things to check out? Hope you start feeling better soon. Cheers, Prepared Mind family. I'm feeling a lot better. I really am. I'm feeling a lot better. But my voice, it's just my voice. Occasional cough, but it's my voice. Thank you very much. I'll take that as a prayer and for my health. Now, you're going to South Florida to hunt iguana. That's an interesting thing you're doing. By the way, we're at 300 people live right now. Share the internet address. Share it. Text, email, smoke signal. Send it to your friends, family, loved ones. Hell, send it to your enemies, people you know that would hate to hear my fucking message. Send it to them. Tell them to watch this video. They'll learn something. They may not like what they learn, but they'll fucking learn it, by golly. Now, Southern Florida. There's no other place like it in the world. Go down into the Florida Keys. Key West, at the very bottom, is interesting. It's full of fucking weird people. A bunch of homosexuals hang out there. There's also a lot of straight people there. It is beautiful. It is crazy. But all the Keys, you start with Key Largo, and you got Marathon. You got the Isla Morada. Go down there and just enjoy it. The drive is unique. It's bridges and islands and bridges and islands and bridges and islands. There's great restaurants. I've been there twice. Just nice little trips. The culture is really unique. The Southern Florida culture is different than the West Coast, the East Coast, up north in the Panhandle. You're going to love Florida. Do me a favor and send your email somehow to Jolene. And Jolene will probably tell you how to send me an email. If you guys are going to drive down through Florida, it'd be interesting to meet. Anyways, I try not to do that too often. I run into people frequently that know who I am. But I try and keep my exact location secret. But I am up north more. I'm not in Southern. So if you're going to fly to Miami to hunt iguana, other things to do, Florida's amazing. Go out and do some boat fishing. If you stay on the Gulf side, the water is calmer. If you stay on the Atlantic side, it's a little rougher and deeper. It's all great fishing and fun. On the Gulf side, I ran into a lot of turtles, hanu, if you will, boating around, did some lobstering. That was fun. On the other side, we did some hookah diving down. I'm not scuba certified, but I did some hookah stuff and went down 15 feet, check things out. It's kind of like snorkeling, only you got an air supply. Deep sea fishing, great stuff. It's amazing. The culture in Miami, I'm not a huge Miami culture kind of guy, but the Cubans, Cuban exiles, they're great people, great food. It's very interesting. Miami is a fucking zoo. But you can go out into the Everglades swamp area. You can do some airboat riding. That is some amazing shit. But do that. Just have fun while you're there. Enjoy the shit out of it. Floridians are good people. Democrats are fucking idiots everywhere you go, no matter what. Anyways, thank you very much for the great support, the well wishes, and hopefully I keep kicking it around, folks. I'm thinking, yes, down in Miami, up in Port Canaveral, and over in Tampa, Jimmy Buffett, the Margaritaville, has 3 cruise ships now. Very inexpensive. Literally. But he's got Cheeseburger in Paradise, and they are delicious cheeseburgers. The reason I know is a while back I took a weekend cruise over to Nassau from I think it's Port Canaveral. It's up there by the space launch, and it was a 3-day trip for like $300 or something. It was amazing. Anyways, you can get over there, see the Bahamas. If you're in Miami and you have time, book a short cruise, and go out and maybe check out some of the Bahamas or the Exumas or whatever you can get your hands on. Good stuff. Okay, enough of my bullshit. Thank you very much, Chelsea and husband. And great support, always appreciated. Like I said, keeps the lights on, keeps me fed, and keeps me from only having to have 2 jobs. Who's next? And it's Big Dan, the man Erickson, back with another $5 super chat. Thank you, Dan, very much. And he says it takes 100 to 200 pounds of copper ore, silver ore, to get 1 pound of clean metal. How is that even profitable? Gold comes out of the ground. Gold. Okay. I'm from the West Coast. I grew up in the gold country, Amador County. Okay. Just east of Jackson in a little town called Pioneer. Went to high school in Sutter Creek at Sutter Creek High. Okay. Right in the gold country. You can pan for gold. They had hard rock gold mines where guys go down in little cars and they're looking for gold. But that's not where gold really comes from anymore. Gold comes from open pit mines where they scoop ore. It's actually dirt by the ton. Let me tell you how gold comes out of the ground. For every scoop, every 2,000 pounds of soil, every 2,000 pounds of dirt at a gold mining site that they drill and test and make sure there's enough gold per ton to make it profitable. They pull out anywhere from 2 to 5 grams, not 2 to 5 ounces, 2 to 5 grams of gold. And it takes 32 grams to make 1 troy ounce of gold. So they fill those big giant motherfucking haul trucks that are as big as a house, literally. Okay. They fill those with ore and they have to go all the way back up out of the pit over to the processing center. Gold is $5,000 an ounce right now, right? We're right there. It's costing them about $2,000 an ounce to $2,500 an ounce. I don't even think it's that high. I think it's down at 2. Anyways, to turn that ore, to process it, refine it, remove that gold, costs them $2,000. But guess what? They're making 3. That is gold. Gold does not come out of the ground in a beautiful wiry metal, except in a few isolated small mines where they hunt and chase veins through the rock, through the ground. Open pit mining, they find the gold. It's enough. It's anywhere from 5 to 10 grams per ton of ore in the richest locations. And then they just tear the fucking mountain down, literally. Take Highway 80 out of Reno, head east over to Salt Lake City, and you'll pass several mines. Now, when it comes to copper and silver, very few mines mine for silver ore. Most of the silver that's produced comes from mining copper. It is a byproduct. In other words, there's a little bit of silver in with that copper. And it's a very similar situation, but there's a lot more in a copper mine. A lot more. They don't go by grams or even ounces of silver. I'm sorry, grams or ounces of copper per ton of ore. It is pounds of copper per ton of ore that they're looking for. And they get a little teeny bit of silver that they separate off. I think copper is, well, I don't follow copper the way I used to, but say $5 to $6 a pound. Silver, as we know right now, is wanting to boogie and take off again. It's sitting at about 77, 76. I haven't looked today. Dollars an ounce. So that's how we get it. Now, I know that there are some pure silver mines like First Majestic. I know Hecla Mining, which is an American and Canadian mining system. They mine just for silver as well, but also copper. Copper is huge. If you want to learn about copper, look up the Anaconda Mine like the Snake, Anaconda Mine. That's an American copper mine. Problem with copper is it's also full of arsenic. Whoops. And when they refine it and process it, that arsenic is a toxic substance. It's poison. And, they have to be very careful with it, et cetera, when they refine it and smelt it and all that happy horse shit. But they do separate out the silver. And for them, that's free money. Anyways, yeah. It takes 100 to 200 pounds of copper to get a pound. So a ton would be 10 pounds using Big Dan the Man's numbers. 100 pounds to get 1 pound of clean metal. Okay, that's 20 pounds per ton of ore for copper. But you get 2 grams of gold. And those mines are staying open. Now, why such a big difference? 2 to 5 ounces or 2 to 5 grams per ton? Well, it's in some mines they're mining down at 1.5 grams, 1.25 grams, 1 gram of gold per ton. Those mines they mine the most profitable areas first, and they'll go until it's no longer profitable. Then they'll stop and go a different direction, or they have to go to reclamation. And that is fill in the fucking hole in the ground with all that, I'm going to call it overburden and processed ore. It goes back in the hole, and that way we don't have this. This is part of the super fun thing. Anyways, enough of my mining information. Big Dan, thanks for bringing that up. It is hard to find gold. It's one of the hardest things to find. The only thing harder to find is, there's a lot of them, but platinum, palladium, germanium, rhodesium. Anyways, let us continue. Who's up next? Rutro. Jolene. Chelsea and husband sent another $50 Venmo super chat. Chin Music is back with another super chat, $4.99. He says, every majority white country is first world. Fact. What is he talking about? What is this? This crazy Texan American guy, he's a great guy, but folks, if you ever get a chance to meet Chin Music, you'll fucking love him. Every majority country is first world. We've heard of first world, emerging market. They don't call it second world for some reason. And then third world shithole countries, right? Every majority country is first world. Every majority white country, that's Canada, Australia, New Zealand, America, United Kingdom, all of Europe, and also Russia. Those are first world countries, meaning they have a constitution and a government. They have law enforcement and a military. They have a civilization. They have roads, bridges, tunnels, ports, highways. They have education systems. They have manufacturing. They have agriculture. Okay. Every last one of those countries that is a majority of white people, all of Europe, Russia, like I said, there are first world countries that are not majority white. Japan, China. I don't want to call India a first world country. Parts of China are emerging markets still. It's a very large country. India, I believe, is still considered emerging market. South Africa at one point was considered first world. It is now a third world shithole, or it was an emerging market. It's getting worse and worse because of the communist black population murdering the whites and chasing them out of their fucking country. Same thing that was done in Zimbabwe when it was called Rhodesia. And it is just a fucking awful fact. Take a first world country like the United States of America, make the white population not a majority, and it will fall. It is already falling. Whites are still a majority, but it is falling. That is why Israel, Chabad Lubavitch, the Zionists, that's why they want to import tens of millions and tens of millions and tens of millions and pay our government, pay them off, bribe them to keep letting them in so that people who look like this I don't care. Other Americans who are black, brown, Asian, I don't give a fuck. If you subscribe to the American story, the U.S. Constitution, our history, our culture, our traditions, our Christian nature, which is do unto others as you would have them do unto you, you get rid of that, and this country will go down faster than Stormy Daniels in one of her movies. What Chin Music put out there is indeed a fact. There are very few countries, very few, that are first world and are not white majority. There's some great countries, no doubt. In fact, El Salvador, which is a Latin American country in Central America, their leader, Bukele is his name. When he got into office, he was elected. He promised he would fix the problems. He threw out all the judges. He told the criminals, you're in jail, you're fucking staying there. They went out, he got the military, and he rounded up the other criminals, the cartels, put them in jail. They're staying there. It is, I know it's top 5 safest countries in the Western Hemisphere. This country could be great again in a short amount of time, the United States of America, if we had a real president and real Congress and they did their fucking jobs. It's not happening. Thank you very much, Mr. Chin. And let's continue if we shall. My voice is starting to run out. It's starting to hurt, but I'll stay on. $2 super chat from Big Dan the Man. He says, were you yelling at libtards and hurt your voice? A couple weeks ago, 2 weeks ago, I caught a cold. Sinus infection, stuffed packed sinuses, cough, cold, fever, and chest cold. And ever since then, I've been jacked up. But I have been yelling because I'm in construction. And sometimes you need to yell to get people to fucking hear you. Whether they're 50 feet away or 5, it doesn't matter. I don't yell that much. It'll work. But yeah, just fucking yelling, period. It's the main way we communicate. It's funny, isn't it? Human beings, we take in over 90% of our information visually. But in order to communicate, over 90% of our communication is verbal. We do typing, yes, writing, but well over 95% of our ability to communicate is verbal, while we learn 90% through our eyes, 10% through our ears. Interesting, huh? Let us continue if we shall. Thank you, Big Dan the Man. Fuck the liberals. Now we're going with Northern Pike checking in with a $5 super chat. And he says, my next comment may be a can of worms. Maybe not. Maybe not. Okay, then. What is that next one? The electric worm getter for the Iranian Revolutionary Guard. The electric worm getter for the Iranian Green. When, if Space Force don't laugh too long. Electric worm getter? What the fuck? I have no... I have no idea what you're talking about. Electric worm getter, EWG. I don't know. That just sounds really fucking screwy. Electric worm getter. All right. Thank you, Northern Pike. I don't want to laugh. If you make me laugh too much, I'll start a coughing fit because of my throat. Anyways, thank you very much, Northern Pike. Always, man. I never know what to expect from you, dude. You're always here. You're always contributing. You're always bringing up some interesting things. Okay. Jolene. She says, I don't remember that from the Tremors, the movie Tremors. Those are snakeoids, not electric worm getters. That's some funny thing. Oh, my goodness. Speaking of Space Force, apparently the 4 astronauts, how about just astronaut? They went to the moon and back. They didn't land. They just flew around it, And they're back. Not buying it. Let us continue if we shall. Jolene, where do we go next? Big Dan says, nice haircut. $2 super chat. Thank you, sir, very much. Check that out. I'm in regs, high and tight. You know, not everyone appreciates the high and tight flat top, but you know what? 99% of them can kiss my fucking ass. I don't care. It does let people know. When I ask people, they go, why do you wear that? I go, I've always worn one since high school. I've always had a flat top. And they go, you were a Marine, weren't you? I go, yeah. They just seem to know. Every now and then someone will ask Army. No one ever says Air Force. No one ever says Navy. But when you see me in person, because I'm very large for some reason, they think of Swede Johansson from, Heartbreak Ridge. There we go. I was once that big, not anymore. I'm 56. I'm a little too old to be, throwing the weights around that much anymore, but still 275 pounds. People, yeah, they pick Marine before they pick Army. Every now and then, but I got to tell you, folks, veterans are fucking pissed about what's going on with this Iran bullshit, the Greater Israel Project, Netanyahu fucking killing Christians. And then they want us to send our men and women over to die for them and their fucking bullshit cause. They're made up shit. They're fucking fake. They're fake. They're invaders. They're liars. They're charlatans. They're thieves. They're the synagogue of Satan. They always have been since Christ pronounced that. They're the synagogue of Satan. And I'm not ashamed. I'm not afraid to say it. And that's what they rely on. They rely on the Holocaust. Oh my God, it's like another Holocaust. They believe it's okay to invade a fucking country. Palestine, bomb everyone to death, bomb it to fucking ashes, to rubble, and then keep going. And now they're doing it to Lebanon, claiming they own Lebanon. They're annexing southern Lebanon. They're killing Christian children because they want to steal the fucking land. Oh, and they want to go after Turkey? That's going to be interesting. Erdogan needs to figure out who the fuck he is and who he represents. You represent Europe. You represent the Middle East. Are you allies with Russia? Or are you part of NATO? Or are you going to start sucking Netanyahu's dick? All right, let's continue if we shall. Pardon my language. Jolene, who's up next? Big Dan the Man is back again with a $5 super chat donation. There is an app out there. There's websites and an app that'll tell you how to follow Nancy Pelosi's stock trades, and they will make you rich. Now, I'm going to take what you said, Big Dan, and there are even better traders than Nancy now, percentage-wise. Yes, up until a few years ago, and I don't know when they changed the rule, but when I started learning about government, I was told that the President of the United States is not allowed to trade stocks. The government workers had to put their investments into a blind trust, meaning they couldn't see what it was being invested in. They couldn't control it anymore. It was blind to them. Now they're allowed to invest their own money. They're on government committees. They give contracts to certain fucking companies, and they vote on it. Now, whether they vote for company A or company B in their committees, doesn't matter. It doesn't matter if they wanted this company. They got this one. Fuck it. They'll invest in that company ahead of time. It's announced company B gets a huge contract. Company B's stock skyrockets. That congressman makes a shit pile of money on a decision that they're aware of ahead of time. That's insider fucking trading. It's a crime if you and I do it. They sent Martha fucking Stewart to prison for years for trading her own stock, knowing what was going on before the general public had information on it. Now, I don't like Martha Stewart very much. She's kind of a dry, icy bitch. That doesn't matter. It's a crime. And Big Dan, if I had money to invest in the in Wall Street, and I didn't have the good sense to buy a shit ton of this, silver, I think, is still going to go nuts. I got a nice little stack of it. Very happy with what I've got. It's not going to make me a gazillionaire, but what the hell, right? At least I know the bank can't fucking steal it from me. Thank you very much. Okay, Jolene, let's continue. We're almost at the 90-minute mark, and Chelsea checks in with a topic of my choice. Thank you very much, Chelsea and husband. Okay, let's continue here. What am I going to go with? Melania Trump. I've been wanting to get to this, waiting for someone to say something. No one said shit. Melania Trump held a surprise press conference. Does everyone know about that? Does everyone know about that? She did this without telling her own staff, nor President Trump. The First Lady, Melania Trump, called for an emergency, last second, no one knew about it, press conference. She stood behind a microphone and in very poor English exposed her thoughts on Epstein. Her speech was rife with denials of being friends with, associated with, knowledgeable about Epstein and what he was doing. And she stated that Epstein didn't arrange for her and Trump to meet. And she denied all the bad stuff. But she said that Congress should hear witness testimony from the Epstein victims. Now remember, Melania, last name Trump, her husband, the president, told everyone Epstein files were a hoax and that only idiots believe that. And that if you're going to believe that, you don't need to support him and he doesn't need you. Now, since Melania came out, Trump has come back out and said, oh, yeah, we need Congress to look at this. The Congress, right, the House and the Senate, they need to look at this, but they don't need to talk about it. Fucking excuse me, you big orange dumb fuck. Really? If there's a crime there, it needs to be prosecuted. Period. Fuck you, fuck your friends, you bunch of fucking satanic bastards, kidnapping children, grooming them, raping them, hunting them, drinking their blood, eating their organs, fucking eating their meat, and then disposing, just sick fucks. It's all over the Epstein files. They're a bunch of Satan-worshiping fucks. And yeah, Melania is part of that. Now, she finished. She refused to answer any questions from the press that were present on site. She turned around and left. Why would she pull such a stunt, one may ask? Why would the wife of the president of the United States feel it was important enough for her to go on television in front of God and the world and say she didn't know Epstein and had no idea what was going on? She's covering her fucking ass, is my opinion. But more information came out. More information came out. Okay, Jolene, I see the electric worm getter. We'll talk about that. It turns out that another model, remember, Melania was a supermodel and a nude photographic person, right? She appeared in nudie magazines. Some people have said soft porn. I have no fucking idea. I don't care. But it turns out that another model, much like Melania, a foreigner, had a powerful baby daddy, the way Melania became Trump's wife and baby maker. Turns out this other foreign model was in the United States of America, but her baby daddy was a Brazilian rich fat fuck. And this model, she was thrown out of the United States of America by Trump's ICE, Immigrations and Customs Enforcement. I wonder who this big fat ass from Brazil was, that he could call the president of the United States and have somebody that he doesn't like thrown out of the country? Oh, and then he, this fat ass piece of shit, probably in the Epstein files, he took their son from her. So she is pissed off. She has nothing to lose. And she said Melania knew all about Epstein, all about Trump, all about everything that's going on. And she wants to reveal everything. And so Melania, knowing this is going on, came out ahead of time. She got ahead of it. And she does protest too much ahead of time, trying to clear her own name. So understand this, folks. For people who have everything in the world, like Trumps, like the Pelosi's, go over to Europe, the queer Starmers, the fucking Ursula von der Leyen cunt of the European Union. I hate that bitch. She's ruining Europe. And I love Europeans. I love the countries. I love the cultures. She's ruining it, the fucking bitch. Anyways, for those that have everything to lose, you should fear them, because they'll do anything to keep what they have. And those that have nothing to lose, they are also the most dangerous people in the world when they're cornered. They've got nothing to lose. So the Trumps have everything to lose. And this poor lady who lost her son, lost her baby daddy, all that money, she's got nothing to lose at this point. And I've hoped that there would be more of these people. I'm sure a lot of these Epstein victims that survived were paid off. They were settled with by banks, like JP Morgan, like a Bank of America. They paid off these Epstein victims. And so they've signed NDAs, non-disclosure agreements. So they took the money. They took the money. They took the money. And now they're not allowed to name the names and talk about it. Well, they sold themselves out. I guess that's really a very difficult thing to, it's a very difficult thing to turn down. You've already been raped, ruined, psychologically abused, satanically abused. A lot of these other women that have survived turned into criminals themselves. They were forced to go out and recruit more little girls, little boys, to give to Epstein and all of his clients and Jizzy Maxwell. This, folks, just under the surface is an incredible amount of evil that is tied to Washington, D.C. It's tied to the White House. It's tied to Congress. It's tied to Wall Street. It's tied to the banking cartels. It's tied to Israel. It's tied to Mossad. It is tied to the IDF. It is tied to Ukraine. It is tied to the World Economic Forum. It is tied to the European Central Bank. It is tied to the Bank for International Settlements. It is tied to all these rich fucks. And it's just under the surface, and it needs to come out. Someone with a lot of money needs to take somebody who signed a non-disclosure agreement for $10 million, give them $10 million to pay it back, and come out and burn every one of these satanic motherfuckers that is destroying our countries, our cultures, our traditions, our laws, our children, and our people. We are worth, all of us collectively, a lot more than $10 million fucking dollars that these people took. And now they can't say shit. I'm sure a lot of them are also fearful for their lives. But when you've got nothing to lose, why not? I've even heard Tucker Carlson say, and I believe him, because he's the same age as I am. He says he's done everything, right? He's had children, family, success, life. They can kill him. He doesn't care. He's going to keep fucking saying what needs to be said because it needs to be said, and it's the right fucking thing to do, instead of selling out and giving up humanity for a couple of bucks or for a couple more years. A lot of people have said, why isn't Bill Gates dead? Why hasn't somebody put a bullet in him? That person, whoever it is, and I'm not encouraging this. I repeat, I am not encouraging anyone kill Bill Gates, but they will be remembered by the entire world 8 billion people will know that person's name that kills Bill Gates. And it needs to happen, according to many people, that if that were to happen, it would start a cascade of attacks on these evil fucks that are spraying our air, spraying our food, poisoning us with medicines. These Israeli bastards that are creating these pharmaceuticals that destroy and kill people, give them cancer. Right? AstraZeneca, Pfizer, Moderna, Johnson & Johnson, Libby, all these fucking companies. They cured no diseases. Now they've proven ivermectin, mebendazole, these drugs kill parasites that cause cancer. People are cured, and they're cheap. They're easy to produce drugs, and they've known about them, folks, for over 50 fucking years. They've known what causes cancer, and they've hidden it so they could give us very expensive cancer treatments to enrich themselves. Don't trust these fucking doctors, these research scientists. Right? Our world is being controlled by these money-grubbing fucks who make life. They live. They make a fortune off of our death, our suffering, the wars that we are forced to fight. When I was a young man, I wanted to fight for America. You think I would have fucking enlist or go to college and be a commissioned officer so I could go die for fucking Israel so they can have their precious bullshit lie that God promised them 3,000 years ago? He didn't promise them shit. They're a bunch of fucking Romany. They're a bunch of fucking scum. Good God. All right. Thank you, Chelsea and husband. Thank you very much. Ooh, man, said copper's running around $5.78 a pound. Silver's at 73. Shit, I thought I was thinking it was higher. Gold is at 46.81. And apparently the market is open. Thank you, Mr. Ooman. Doesn't matter to me. I have a little bit. I'm not selling it. Let us continue if we shall. Jolene, who is up next? And it is Jace 1701, a great contributor. This is the top secret, John. And he did a $50 super chat. Thank you, John, very much. He says, this is your daily reminder that South Africa had a fucking space program at one point. Only a first world nation has a space program. They launched satellites. It had nuclear weapons in the 1970s. It used to be first world. Now look at it, says John. Look at it. What happened? Communism. What happened? White hatred, white extermination. That country is going to go from communism to third world shithole because they're killing the white farmers. Kill the Boer, kill the farmer, kill the white man. They don't know how to do a fucking thing. In sub-Saharan Africa, they never had the fucking wheel. They never had a written language. They're still making huts out of mud or cow shit. They don't know how to run a fucking country. They don't know anything. It was brought to them by European culture. Unbelievable. Semper Fi, John. Indeed, Semper Fi, man. Always faithful. Thank you, John, very much. Keep up the good work. Keep up the fight that matters. Thank you, JC. Thank you, John. Okay, let us continue. And thank you for the super chat. No scotch today, folks. I am too jacked up, and I don't want to ruin my voice. I don't want to burn it out or cook it or something crazy. Sheesh, it looks like I'm going to make it 2 hours whether I like it or not because we have more super chats. Jolene, who's next? Northern Pike, a commercial product known as the electric worm getter, sold in the 80s and 90s specifically to shock earthworms to the surface. They used it in 1930 and EMP now through lasers and directed energy weapons. That's interesting. Thank you, Northern Pike. The electric worm getter. That's some funny shit. As a kid, I used to go out behind a cedar tree in California. They're actually a California incense cedar is what it was called. It's a type of juniper, but it's a large tree. They make pencils out of it. But I'd go under the juniper tree right out back behind the house and dig for earthworms. Other places, wait for a good rainy day. It'll drive the worms out because they start to drown when you get a good rainy day. All right, let's see who's up next. Big Dan the man, he's back again. He's blown the hat trick out of the water, and then he's going. He says, hope you feel better soon, Big John. Semper Fi, bro. Tell you what, brother, I want to feel better. I can't wait to feel better. I'm actually a little better. It's just this. It's just right here. So right before the show, I took, 5,200 units of vitamin C. And after the show here, I'm going to go take another 5,200 units. And then at bedtime, I'm going to take another 5,200 units. I'm going to just kill it. And that's how I got rid of it. And I had it for like something like this for 3 months. It was awful. Anyways, thank you, Big Dan. I really appreciate it. The great support you always show us and the great topics you bring up. Stay prepared, man. Stay prepared. And I hope you've got a good escape plan to, at the very least, the eastern side of the Cascades. Should shit get nasty. All right, who's up next? We've got Nancy Keg. Hey, little sis, with a $50 super chat donation. She says, Semper Fi means always faithful. That is the Marine Corps motto. It is, in my opinion, an American motto. It is, in my opinion, a human model. It is civilized. It is a model of civilization, being faithful to what you know and what you believe. And if you're faithful to what you know and believe, and you don't sell out, you don't give up, you don't hide, you don't chicken shit out, you don't put your head in the fucking sand, you don't ignore truth so you can live in a fantasy world. Remember, Nancy, everyone, remember when they used to tell us preppers are fucking morons? Preppers are stupid. You're wasting your time. You're wasting your money. Nothing bad is going to happen. The world is great. It's always going to be great. It's only going to get better. Remember that? Remember that? They had the show called Doomsday Preppers. It was on one of the fucking cable channels. And they would find the silliest hicks or some fucking guy with a bunch of money, and they portray him as a fucking moron because he's building an underground bunker and he's a prepper. What have we had since then, huh? Oh, you bet your ass. We got plenty of fucking reason to be a prepper. Our own fucking government is now openly trying to destroy our fucking country. Crazy shit. Tell you, thank you, Nancy, very much. You're a doll. Shall we continue? Let's continue if we shall. Everyone always remember Semper Fi. Jolene. All done. I'm going to save what voice I have. I want to come back tomorrow night. I want to learn more about this millennia thing, this Epstein thing, and bring it to you guys and discuss it. I want to find out more of what's going on in Iran with Israel and discuss it. That little homosexual, skinny jeans wearing, light in the loafers, faggot, Zelensky, is continuing to fuck up. In fact, he's trying to sell Ukraine drones. And they're shit. They're garbage. They don't fucking work. Everything coming out of Ukraine is a fucking fraud, and it always will be until they get rid of that little bastard. Oh, fuck. Okay. I've got to save my voice. I love you all. Thank you for the great support. Thank you for showing up. Share that internet address. Share it with people. Email it, text it, whatever, right? Send it, smoke signals, fucking tie the address on a piece of paper on an arrow and send it out the window. Carrier pigeon, I don't care. Share it because people need to realize how fucked up things are, and it's not getting better. It's not. I need to quit yelling at those fucking libtards. Thank you guys all, one and all. I love you much. Chance favors the prepared mind is yours. Godspeed, folks. Godspeed. This is our country. Whether you're in Canada, you're in Europe. Alan Meyer Jensen, I know I missed your fucking comment, but all of our European friends, our Australian friends, our friends in Japan, everyone, stay vigilant, always faithful. Godspeed.